Yeah, everything from like, I mean, as much as Minor Threat's probably my favorite band of all time, you know, the Embrace record was a really important record for me. Rites of Spring album was really important. Ignition and Soul Side were really important. You know, but Youth of Today, Gorilla Biscuits, 7 Seconds, all really important for me. Bad Brains, even though they're homophobic fuckheads, you know, it's all good.
Yeah. Can't be all winners, right?
No. Sometimes you gotta love music even, well, this is a slippery slope. I was about to say, you can't hold the actions. Sometimes music is so legendary that you can't, you sometimes have to separate it from the actions of the people that made it. But maybe I won't say that. I mean, I said it, but maybe I'll take it back, because by that logic you could say, well, Screwdriver has some really catchy songs. I'm like, I think if you got that crap in your record collection, you're too far gone.
What about that stuff like the Mentors and the Meat Man?
Too nasty for me.
Too nasty?
I'm too political to like really be able to handle much of the like joke.
So that
especially the degrading, like, anti-woman stuff, the misogynist stuff is really like, I can't. It makes me sad. I can't handle it.
What are some of the political movements or, I guess, ideas which you're following a lot these days, which you're reading about? Or
anti-war stuff, definitely. Also, the way I'm really concerned about the way the U.S. government is using anti-terrorism laws to persecute people, to persecute activists across the board for a number of issues. I mean, they've put a bunch of animal rights activists in prison using like the new anti-terror laws. So it's total inappropriate use of a law that's pretty inappropriate in the first place, that limits civil liberties in a way that I don't think we can afford to lose. So the other thing is, really one of the things I'm most concerned about is homophobia in the culture at large, but also in the punk scene and in the hardcore scene. I think there's like, people are way too comfortable saying stuff that's like really offensive to me. And you know, I know that most of the time people are joking, or they think they're joking, but you don't realize, like, you say a word like the F word, you know, not fuck, the other F word, the homophobic one, and like, you don't know who in the room is gay, you know, like, you wouldn't say the N word in a room with people of color. Like, don't say the F-bomb like in a room full of people where chances are 10% of the people in the room are gay. Like, you really don't care how you make people feel? It's not PC, it's like common decency. That's all.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. And I think, like, as a whole in America, we got a long way to go in terms of realizing the rights of sexual minorities. But in the punk scene, man, we're not nearly far along as we should be. Especially in like the hardcore scene.
Yeah, but
I go see bands sometimes and I hear like, come on, you let's fuck shit up. And I'm like, really? You're a grown man talking like that? And I just walk out. I just walk the hell out. You can keep my $8. Yes. And I'm not so naive to think that we can get away with playing aggressive music and not have people behave aggressively.
Yeah.
But I think hardcore kids are smart.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to teach people the difference between aggression and violence.
Yeah.
I mean, the pit is an aggressive place, but it doesn't need to be a violent place. I think a real man can keep his emotions under control. Like, I think, you know what you call someone who can't control their temper? A 2-year-old. That's what I think. Like, you know, you don't need to like insult people or make people feel shitty about who they are. It's unnecessary. No, I do understand, like, it's not my place to tell other people how to think or behave. These are my opinions only. Just my opinions. But you know, that's what I have to say about it.
But those are
I'm not saying everybody needs to live by my rules.
Those are opinion at large. If you talk about some of the bands you talked about before, you know, those are opinion. Those are the people that put in place. You know, 7 Seconds. You know, Minor Threat were opinions
7 Seconds and Minor Threat were about respect.
Yeah.
That we have in this room, we have a space where everybody can feel like they belong, because it's a space for people who are alienated and don't fit in anywhere else. Because of the way we look or the way we feel or the way we think.
Yeah.
So in that space, everybody has to feel like they belong.
Yeah.
And it needs to be safe for everybody. You know, and
this scene has grown from that, but they've forgotten that.
We forget that, yeah. And like, not a lot of people know about the Bad Brains like sketchiness, but
Yeah.
they were kind of taking in the other direction. They were very amazing band musically, very powerful and very influential, but they were on some sketchy stuff, and they were
Very.
and they were not tolerant at all, very conservative.
Yeah.
So
What would be a good starting point if you could create, let's say, a book list for some of the more closed-minded people of today to start?
cheers. People's History of the United States. Howard Zinn. I mean, the cliches are like Howard Zinn and Noam Chomsky because they write really eloquently about power dynamics in supposed democracies. But I don't know what works for some people. I like more literature than I prefer to read literature than politics. Politics are really hard to read. But a good independent news source that isn't biased in one way or another politically. I tend to think like to get accurate news about U.S. politics, I read The Guardian from the UK. If you can make it through Michel Foucault, which is, it took me like a year to read one of his books. I don't think a lot of people have the patience, but a lot of really important stuff about how power is manipulated in very subtle ways to keep people kind of distracted and under control and under good behavior. But on the other side, I also read comic books. I'm not all serious, and most of the time I'm not serious, but like politics,
What is the difference of Aladdin?
I don't think.
No.
I think it's funny when people say they're not political. I don't really believe you can not be political, but whatever.
What's the future of the family, since you're talking about relationships and power dynamics?
I think families need to spend more time together, man. Not in this conservative, like 1950s McCarthy, anti-communist kind of way, but in like a, I think parents are working like 80 hours a week because in America, like, it seems like the prevailing ethic is like money and possessions are more important than living. I think families need to spend time together, eat meals together, make the weekends about spending time with your loved ones, not about getting more work done.
A person could work and sustain a family.
Yeah.
Now they have to both work in order to do the same amount. So it's the inflation.
Both work, and some people work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
It's inflation. It's the shift from manufacturing economy in the job market to service economy.
Yeah.
Because you can't work at McDonald's 40 hours a week and feed your family.
Yeah.
It used to be if you were in a union and you were producing something in a factory, you could feed your family, put a roof over everybody's head, work a decent amount, work overtime if you wanted to and make extra money, and retire and have benefits and health insurance. And now those jobs have all been relocated. I don't think the United States, I don't know about Canada, but I don't think the United States politically or economically really thought about the consequences of job displacement. Well, it keeps people powerless and hungry and too exhausted to resist, really. So, I don't know. Now I'm depressed.
A family's on the horizon for you?
One would assume.
Yeah. So,
I work less than 40 hours a week. I work about 30 hours. If you count music, I probably work 60 hours a week. But my main job, I work about 30 hours a week. I work for myself, which I think is what people should really strive to do, because your bosses are not going to try to make your life better. They're going to try to squeeze as much out of you as they can. So I'm going to be around with my, like when I have kids, I don't go into work until the afternoon, so I'll be with them all morning and, just figure something out. Kids are amazing. I think adults get so concerned with this whole cycle of like work, consume, and exhaust yourself. I think that they forget that we have so much to learn from children. The sense of wonder and the sense of like delight in what it is to just be alive and experience simple things. Touch, sight, taste, like we forget how amazing all that stuff is. And we have to, like, a lot of people have to take drugs to remind them how like beautiful things are. And I think that's fucking sad, like we can learn a lot from children and dogs.